Stallion, why should I come to the Passive Income Retreat in Denver, Colorado this October?
You should come to this retreat if you're saying to yourself right now, I need passive income to come from my active income. If you're the person in your circle that is the most successful and you have nowhere else to go, and all those passive income ideas seem very elusive, but you know in reality you've never slowed down to actually figure it out.
Yeah, I'm saying, man, you must come if missing out on another summer, right? Like when you think about how many summers you have left with your kids and you're like, how many more summers can I afford to miss because I am burning 60 to 80 hours a week in my job, regardless of how much money you make. Your family doesn't care. They want time with you. These opportunities, they're giving you an opportunity to sit in a room with 8 and 9-figure entrepreneurs so that you can figure out how to create financial freedom that exceeds your monthly expenses is what this event's about. Don't miss the opportunity to come to Denver, Colorado, be with the Stallion and I, and about 50 to 60 other highly successful entrepreneurs like yourself. Go to thepassiveincomeretreat.com and sign up right now. Limited spots available. Welcome into the Financial Freedom Roundtable, where each week we break down complex financial topics so that you can more easily understand them and, more importantly, take action on your path to becoming financially free. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. Grateful to have you in the room. I'm Russ Morgan. They call me the idea guy, mostly because bad internet guy or bad joke guy just didn't sound cool enough to me. Enough about me for a moment, though. Let me introduce you to my co-host, my partner. He's the Italian Stallion. He's got the license plate cover to prove it. Mr. Joe Murray. Stallion, good afternoon.
My brother, how are you?
I'm doing great, bro. How are you, man? We're talking about $1 million moments from live events, and we're just wrapping up here in Nashville, Tennessee. Had about 140, 150 people here. Why is it so important, in your opinion, for people to be a part of live events?
I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, God has made us to be relational beings, and there is just no denying the power that is in a room full of people that are like-minded, that are going in the same direction, that are attempting big things that nobody else around them in their sphere of influence are trying to do. And it's amazing that you can see people come into the room as strangers, and by Sunday afternoon, they're high-fiving each other, they're hugging each other, they're exchanging contact information, they're going to grab lunch afterwards. I mean, it is just powerful to see relationships form. And we heard it from Garrett in our Inner Circle Plus mastermind. He said, relationships are the accelerator. And it's just amazing to see it happening before your eyes at one of these events.
So agreed, man. Well, you and I are actually sitting around a round table today, live and in person.
Literally.
And we're surrounded with the dream team of financial coaches. So I'm going to start to your left. We got the piano man. Yes, we're all in the mood for passive income, and you got to see in the light, Mr. Matthew Hammond. Welcome, Matthew.
It's great to be here, Russ. Joey, I'm so excited. This live event, I would say the only negative to this live event is being in Music City, and you didn't even show me the courtesy of rolling out a piano so that I could actually prove to people that I actually can play.
Dude, I'm going to say this on you, bro. Like, you should have found a piano. Matthew, Joey talked about, seeing people connect throughout the time. What, in your opinion, was so important about this event does it really change lives when people are together?
Man, it totally changes lives. I mean, in the world of digital communication, where everybody is talking on the phone, talking on Zoom. Now, Zoom's important. It's a very powerful tool, but there is nothing, to Joey's point, there's nothing compares to that human nature need for actual connections with other human beings. And being able to actually meet these people live, and these people that we've been talking to for years over Zoom, over phone calls, and actually being able to put faces to voices, and just actually getting to meet them in person and make those connections, man, it's just, there's no comparison.
Well, let me get to your left. We got a doctor in the house. He's a DFM. That stands for Doctor of Financial Medicine, and he can resuscitate your financial situation, even though I can't enunciate it. Mr. Automated Budget himself, Eric Hudson. Good to see you, Eric.
Russ Morgan, man, thank you so much. So excited to be here on the podcast today. Excited to have been in Nashville this weekend. Amazing.
Same question for you. Why are live events so vital?
Well, Russ, as a doctor, I think I'd like to ask you a question. Okay. If it's okay.
Yes,
Do you know where babies come from?
I do.
Great. It's fantastic. God thought that our personal connection with each other was so important that to create life, human life itself, it required a connection between people. And I see that transferring to this weekend's event. We breathe life into investments. We breathe life into our financial lives. We breathe life into our future by the connections we had with each other. And you guys are welcome for that, by the way.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Man,
What event were you at here?
Oh man, he got caught up in a different event. Man, that was good stuff. I love the metaphor. I mean, let's keep bringing them. Woo. It's gotten hot in here, but we need somebody to help cool this thing down. We got Mr. Bird sitting next to you. He's got more houses than Eric's got lines to keep me quiet. Mr. Jeff Wagner. Welcome, Jeff.
All right. Thanks, Russ. This has been a fantastic weekend, even though I missed Eric's event, wherever that was. But, so, yeah, this was great. And getting live in front of the community was, it's transformational. Yesterday, we were driving back from a after hours event, and I was sitting next to Jeff Gilbert. He's one of our Inner Circle Plus members, and he commented on how different it's going to feel now attending the virtual Zoom events that we hold on a regular basis, like the 5 Pillars Forum and so forth. And this was the first one of these that he's attended, and he just said, yeah, I'm excited. Everything's going to feel different now in a better way.
It does. It takes those meetings that's happening that we're going deeper in those meetings, but whenever you build those relationships, it just adds value and adds the ability to say, hey, I do want to hold you accountable. I do want to see you succeed, right? I love that. Well, to your left and to my right, we got a true financial Sherlock Holmes. No problem too difficult to solve. I'd only known him earlier. I'd be so much richer, said everyone. Mr. Downtown Ernie Brown. Nice to see you, Ern.
Man, it is good to be seen in the flesh.
Be careful.
Careful, Ern. Hey, no worries. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I'm shook right now. That's awesome. Eric, it sounds like you had a great week.
Oh man. So Ern,
Bible that's changed life, true or false?
Facts. 100% true. And I remember in 2016, now we're in Nashville, but in 2016 in the fall, I remember sitting in a conference in Memphis, and we were having the conversation and some equipping on how do you change culture? How do you transform cities and communities? And the answer was kind of shocking to me is you create a new culture. You create new culture. And we're here, each of us, yes, we're putting on this event and leading, but also participating in this community. And what we're doing is participating in a new culture. What is the financial culture in America? It's basically the exact opposite of what we're doing here, which is talking about reversing the abdication of the financial stewardship in your life just from someone else to yourself and taking ownership of that and then taking steps to free yourself financially. That's the opposite of the culture. And Joey, I think you alluded to this. The anatomy of this event is you come in and you get started and you sit down in your seat. Not gonna lie, the room, it is literally cold in here, but the environment of the room is a little bit cold. Everybody really unsure of who these people are. And by the end, it's amazing to see conversations and little huddles, the connections that have been made. And for me, why is this so important for us to come to these events and for the people who are traveling back home right now to come to these events is, while I really enjoy my conversations on the computer screen through these past several months, it is amazing and a privilege. And I'm so proud of the people that I've worked with to be able to introduce them to each other and be able to start those in-person relationships. That to me is creating and extending and accelerating a new culture.
No doubt. And we had people that came from the four corners, right? We had somebody from Anchorage, from San Diego, from New Hampshire and Maine, all the way down into the Tampa Bay area. Like, we really had a whole swath, of the U.S. here. And it was such a pleasure to meet people and to see people be encouraged by one another, right? Like, this is an opportunity. If you have this where you are, man, you're in the minority. So many people are so desperate for this information, but the hardest part is feeling like you're alone. And then if you start trying to go out on this journey to do financial freedom, you may experience the crabs in the bucket scenario where people around you who are not doing that try to start pulling you back, start convincing you how you're going to fail. And by the way, we're going to fail. We're going to have failures along the way. And if we don't have anybody else in our life other than the people has been telling us we're going to fail, when we do, we may just go back to the old way. But the old way is what we wanted to get away from, right? And when you see people who came here with the mission and then leave with like, okay, no, now I know I'm going to do it. And I'm going to have people to talk about it from this point forward. I'm going to have someone that's going to hold me accountable and somebody I'm going to hold accountable because of this, and also have reassurance or change in their mind. Like, man, I thought I wanted to do this. And it wasn't until I learned a few things about myself that I realized the things I needed to avoid. And you just don't get that when you're in life, you're focused on your day-to-day items of work and family or whatever. But when you invest in yourself for a couple of days to spend time on the thing that is important, but not always the urgent, you start to see real change. So we're going to jump into this podcast right now, but I just want to encourage you. You want to hear those $1 million moments? Come back with us. Let's go into it right now, Stallion.
Welcome to the Wealth Without Wall Street podcast, your guide to understanding how to get out of the Wall Street rat race and start your own mailbox money lifestyle. Now, don't let these handsome Southern draws fool you. These financial minds are teaching our country to enhance savings, increase cash flow, and create passive income, all without the help of Wall Street. Are you ready to break through? Now here are your hosts, Russ Morgan and Joey Murray.
Stallion, I want to come to you first on this because there's a lot of moments that were shared, a lot of aha things that are going to even make a difference in your life, but you also saw differences in others. What was one of those $1 million moment takeaways that you had?
And I'll tell you what, lots and lots of conversations, lots and lots of things that people were saying that were really positive. But the one that kind of made the most impact on me was this woman, Debbie, who came. She said, Joey, generations will for sure be changed because of this event. And I thought, wow. I mean, we say lives will be changed, but she pointed out to me, she said, Joey, this is exactly what we've been looking for and what we need. And it's what our children need to be. We're dragging them to the next one, whether they want to come or not. But she said, you know what's interesting? My 35-year-old daughter is just now waking up to the fact that she needs this. And my 32-year-old's not too far behind. This, to me, is an opportunity for not only this woman and her husband to be affected and to make massive change for themselves, but now their children and potentially their children's children to now see the benefits of what we have put together here. And the second thing I would say is the culture. I can't tell you how many people told me, this is amazing. Like, the culture of this group is just different. It is just giving. It's supportive. People are humble. They want to be a part of a change. It is just powerful to hear that over and over and over again. You are the ones coming to these events. You're the ones that make the culture. And if you're looking to be a part of that on a grander scale, you know who you are. This is the place to be. This is the place to meet those people and to continue to grow.
Well, and it's almost like when you miss out on that, we talk about opportunity costs, and it's hard to quantify it because you don't usually get a bill for it, right?
Right.
It's when you're listening to this and you weren't here, but you thought about coming,
you start trying to figure out what does it cost you. And to the point you were just talking about, a couple who were older, right, like 60 or 70, and in that scenarios they're describing their 30 and 40-year-old children. They've seen that cost of not knowing about this before, and they're like, I'm going to make a change. And even if it doesn't change their lives, it's going to change, as they said, the generations of those in the past. As you're listening to this, no matter where you are on the journey, if you just now started out, right, you're 25 to 35 years old, and this is like all great information you can take, and you don't have to look back, or you've been on this journey for a long time or searching for this, know that there's an opportunity for you to make a change, and you have to be the one to do it. Nobody's going to do it for you. Matthew, same question for you. What was one of those $1 million moments that you experienced while you were here?
Man, there's so many to choose from. I mean, we had so many experts at this event. I mean, from franchises to land investing, turnkey rentals, e-commerce, even mortgage note investing. If I had to pick one personally, my wife Angie and I, we were looking to possibly purchase a business or start a business. And franchises have always interested me, but the one apprehension I've always had is that, or the one thing I definitely do not want to do is create another job for myself. And I've always been under the impression with these startup franchises, well, it's not really startup, but these franchises, when you're starting a franchise, you're really just creating a job for yourself. It's fully active, never passive. One thing I love, Kim Daly is an expert consultant with franchises. She was attending, and I was talking to her, and she dispelled, well, what I call myths, what you call myths. She dispelled a lot of myths that I was under the impression about franchises. One of those being that you're creating a job for yourself. Now, you certainly can create a job for yourself, but she reassured me that, through her consulting, she's able to actually figure out exactly what I'm looking for and what my goals are. And based on the information I give her, she's able to actually find these franchises that I can actually be more of a passive business owner as opposed to creating a job and being self-employed, because that's what I want to be. That's what we always want to be. We want to be in the business owner sector.
If you've listened to our show for any length of time, you've heard us talk about infinite banking and how we are able to use that concept to create over $50,000 a month in passive income. But it's just not that easy to figure out, how does this all connect into my own personal system?
Stallion, that's why we created the passive income operating system, bro. It shows you how to turn active income into passive income. It makes all the steps come together. If you would like to get access to it as a podcast listener, we've never given this away in public before, go to what'swhatwallstreet.com/PIOS. There was nothing worse than walking into class when you're in school and the teacher saying, pop quiz day. Why? Because you were unprepared. Are you unprepared though for financial freedom?
Don't be. Find out how close you are by taking our 30-second quiz at wealthwithoutwallstreet.com/quiz.
Here's a takeaway I had from that moment is you wouldn't have known about it had you not been exposed to the information or had access to a person that you could go deeper in it. And I think so oftentimes we sit in echo chambers and we only sit around things that we think are right, and we get fed back that information to reassure maybe that false narrative. So you have to expose yourself into areas that maybe you're uncomfortable, maybe coming to a live event and being around people. Maybe you're not the extrovert that I am or that Joey is. But when you're here, you get an opportunity to be exposed and to see different things that allow you to then determine, are you going down the correct path, that it's the right one for you, or are there better opportunities based upon new information that you're gaining from outside influence?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Doctor, what's a $1 million moment that you had from this weekend?
I think that I saw so many people that are ready to make a change. And we're told that in life, most of us don't change until the pain of staying where we are is more painful than the change, than the pain of moving to somewhere different. And I think that's true, but what I think actually shortcuts that line of thinking is our live events. It's an opportunity where instead of waiting for that pain, we're inspired to change. And we're inspired to change by seeing others that are thinking the way that we're thinking, that are pursuing the things that we're pursuing. And it gives us confidence in the safety of traveling in a group. And not only that, the safety of following somebody that's been down the road that we're wanting to go down that's just ahead of us.
Wow. So good. I'm sitting here looking out the windows, and it's so fun to watch so many of our attendees who've gone out to lunch are coming back. And I know there were people that they didn't know before they came, and they're having these discussions, man, just right in front of us. I'm seeing people's lives being changed. Jeff, share one of those $1 million moments that you experienced this weekend.
So there were a lot personally for me, just the conversations with people, the exposure to, like Matthew was talking about, investment ideas from experts, interacting with the community and everything that comes with the live event. But for me, this weekend was extra special because I was able to bring 2 of my sons along with me. And they're, Charlie's 24 years old, Frank is 20 years old. And just being able to expose them to the information and the community and the people and the quality of the people at such a young age was very special for me. And Russ, on Saturday afternoon, you did the Right Next Thing presentation that we do for the community, and participated in that. And when it was over, I got to hear them say, yeah, my right next thing is, both of them, we need to set out our visions and our goals and make our plan. And that made me really proud that, they're starting out on the right foot. They're going to have a direction with what they're doing, and they're going to have intentionality with their actions. And as the weekend went on and it wrapped up, you ended the event with the 30, 60, 90 grid of the events or the next tasks that we should be doing. And I was kind of peeking at what they were writing down, and they had some really good stuff, and it came from the right next thing. They're making their plan. So for me, it was a proud papa weekend.
Yeah, dude, I experienced some of that proud papa. I know you did, Joey. 2 of our daughters apiece came, and I was looking at their notes, and I was taking pictures of their notes, and I was just thinking, this is so cool. And then, my 13-year-old comes up to me and says, Dad, when am I going to take that investor DNA? I don't know what my investor DNA is. I was like, well, we got to do that. Let's go ahead and get on that.
You got to take your own medicine.
And then they're all having discussions in the room about, well, I think we're going to buy franchises, or what do you think? Should we do the land flipping together? They're already starting to have these conversations, and it's just that exposure, right? That allows your sons and our daughters to have an opportunity to think about other things. And we learn in that expansion, in that growth area.
By the way, are you open to them buying a car wash together if that's what they wanted to do?
100%, man. I already am paying like $100 something a month. I feel like for the 7,000 cars we had through our house to go through those. Like, at least at this point, I'd be sending it to something I own, right?
Well, I told them, if you guys start literally washing our cars physically, we will talk about the investment in an actual car wash, okay? But no, they weren't up for that.
No. How about you, Ern? What was one of those $1 million moments?
Yeah, well, I just had one. Is a mental image of Ryan being the membership salesperson for those car washes, just scanning people in and giving them a hug through the window.
100%.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That's worth $1 million right there. Man, I remember after the passport challenge that we did live and together. I remember talking to this guy who said, I did this challenge, but I did it at home, sitting alone in my house, having to pull out of thin air, straight out of my head, the ideas and vision that I wanted for life when I become financially free. And I felt all locked up inside. But I came to this event and I started hearing during that session other people share the ideas of what they wanted. And I assumed ahead what you was going to say next, and I was dead wrong. I thought he was going to say, hearing other people's ideas showed me what I wanted. I'll just borrow other people's ideas. That's what I assumed. But what he said is, hearing other people's ideas, his mind was unlocked, and he started to realize what he wanted. Not other people's ideas, but what he wanted. Just being in the environment and the culture of people sharing what they wanted just unlocked his mind. And for sure, that's worth $1 million. And I was super encouraged to hear that.
I had this conversation the very first night, Friday night. This guy kind of pulled me off to the side, and he told me, said, I had a conversation with one of your coaches, 15-minute call. To be honest, I didn't know what to expect, and I got on it, and I don't think I was really well prepared to be on that call. And I kind of left not really knowing more about what you guys do and kind of how I fit into it. And I kind of opted out of the next meeting and didn't move forward. They said, but I've been listening to your podcast, and there's just been one thing or another that really just intrigued me. And I just thought, I've got to come here. I've got to come and see this for myself. And I heard it several times. I need to verify the information I'm hearing. You know, the old saying, trust but verify. And I think there's a lot of nuggets within that. We've talked about whenever we're investing in anything, right? We need to do our due diligence. We need to ensure that the information we're getting is accurate. And I think there's lots of applications to that. But one of the thoughts I had as I was listening to him, he was getting just pieces of it, right? And because he wasn't able to see it in its entirety, because of where he was maybe at that time, you know, maybe we did a poor job of communicating it. Who knows? He got to experience more information, but then he got to experience all those people around him who were at different levels. And I just got to see that light bulb throughout the weekend as we went through different stuff. And I just know as a business owner, we get taught, you know, get pulled in all these different directions. And typically we do the worst job of trying to take care of our own personal finances. And we start to depend on our business to become the answer. Our business is going to be the asset, and we're going to ride this out, and we'll sell it for whatever, and then that will be my windfall. But also we start to worry, is that really going to do it? What if my business is Blockbuster, right? There's so many businesses that have gone away or have been changed dramatically that hope in that is also very similar to investing in qualified plans, and hope in the market is going to pay off. And I just thought, whenever I was watching him throughout that time, I thought, I'm so grateful that he would trust to come and try to verify the information so that he would be able to make a decision, not based upon what he heard on a call, but whatever he was able to experience. Well, gentlemen, this has been a fantastic weekend. I know that each one of us are energized, but also at the same time exhausted. There's a lot that goes into this. And I want to just congratulate you if you are one of those who attended this, for investing in yourself. If you were one of those who didn't get a chance to attend, I want to give you the opportunity to do it in the future. We do have live events. We're going to have one in Denver, Colorado coming up in October. You're an accredited investor and you want to dig into passive income, and you want to mastermind with other 7, 8, 9-figure entrepreneurs, I want you to go to thepassiveincomeretreat.com. If you want to be at the next live event that we're going to have in January for this exact event that we did, you can go to wealthwithoutwallstreet.com/live, and those details will be on there soon. Final thoughts, Joey?
I would just say you owe it to yourself. If this is not something that you have invested in yet, just trust me when I say allow this to be the thing that catapults you to the next level. If you haven't been satisfied with where you're at, if you haven't been seeing the results that you want to see, this may have been the thing that will get you past that roadblock. I know it has been for many of the people that have attended these in the past. This weekend's no different. And I just want to see if it's the same for you.
Matthew?
I've been in a part of this community since 2020, starting out as a client. And I've been a coach, going on 10 months now, pretty close to a year now. And I just got to say, I am so grateful for you guys, everybody around this table, even the coaches that aren't here on this podcast episode, and our community. I'm so grateful to have all of you, because, even if you know your why, even if you have your ambitions to reach that financial freedom goal, if you don't have a tribe around you to motivate you, keep you accountable, you just feel isolated, and you really just, you're frozen and paralyzed. And so being a part of this tribe, being a part of this community has really just opened up mine and my wife's opportunities, and just the opportunity to really thrive. And I just thank God that he brought me to you guys.
Very good. Eric, I think for many of us out there, you're probably like me, and you were following the traditional financial advice that we've been given, since we started our work lives. But there's that gnawing in your gut. There's more. That there's got to be something better than what you've been taught, and you're looking for your people. I would ask you to, invest in yourself and give us a try. We are a group of people that love God, country, and family. That's what we're about. And we just believe that there's a better way to do life, to do investing, and we want to do it together, and would love to do it with you. Jeff.
So since we're talking about financial freedom and investments and things of that nature, I'm sure everybody's heard of the velocity of money, the importance of keeping things moving, and the speed at which you keep your money and investments moving. I think the same thing goes for information. And information, the velocity of information and the way it can be shared is so much more effective at live events when you're with people and face to face, and the ease of sharing that comes with that. So that's the value that I think that comes with this, and getting with the community and face to face.
No doubt.
Thoughts. Simply to the people who I've had the privilege of working with and who I've spent time with this weekend, thank you for coming. It was a pleasure to spend time with you, and I'm excited to see you soon.
Man, so good. I'm grateful for you listening. I'm grateful for you coaches for pouring into me. I'm grateful for the speakers who traveled so far to be here, and I got to learn new things just having those conversations on the bus ride over to our event. I'm grateful for new friendships. Man, I think one of my new friend is an 11-year-old named Miles. Yes. And he was such an encouragement to me that he was soaking in information. He participated in all the different events we had. And I just think like, man, that eagerness that we've all had when we first learned something, and never let that die. Never feel like you've arrived in knowledge. Always be eager to continue to learn. And as you have listened to this podcast to this point, it's just another testament that you're willing to invest in yourself. And if you haven't had a chance to get on a call with one of these coaches, you have another opportunity. You can go to wealthwithoutwallstreet.com/free call, and you too can start digging into some of the information that they shared that did change lives, because I believe it will change yours. Have an amazing day.
This has been the Wealth Without Wall Street podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to the show to break free of the Wall Street mindset and begin building wealth on your own terms in places you understand, so that your wealth will never run dry. See you next episode.